Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout this evening is 10 3-minute rounds for the Commonwealth International welterweight title. Your officials have been appointed by the Commonwealth Boxing Council. Your supervisor for the Commonwealth Boxing Council is Debbie Downs. Your timekeeper at the bell is Brett Bowles. And when the action begins, your scoring referee in charge is Sean McAvoy. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner, unbeaten with 7 wins, weighing in 139 pounds 4 ounces, and tonight he wears the black and pink shorts. Please welcome from Sussex, Joseph Bad Boy Butler. And across the ring in the blue corner, with 12 wins, 3 by way of knockout and 2 losses, weighing in 140 pounds, and tonight he wears the white and black shorts. Please welcome from Sutton, Surrey, Dean the Mean Machine Gardner. Your referee, Sean McAvoy, will call both boxers and give his final instructions.
Okay, last 10 round contest. Keep it clean all the time. Keep yourself protected all the time. Touch gloves. Here we go. Good luck, lads.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 threes for the Commonwealth International welterweight title. Seconds out.
Well, here we go then. 10 3-minute rounds in the super lightweight division for the Commonwealth International title. In the pink and black shorts is Joseph Bad Boy Butler out of Sussex, in there against Mean Dean Gardner of Sutton in South London.
And as you can see already, Butler's got the southpaw stance. He looks very relaxed in comparison to Gardner. You know, Gardner's moving to his left, which is normally taught, but with a southpaw, he's relaxed. He's going to be countering, so he's got to be careful for that.
But Butler has said, we're speaking to some of his team earlier on, said that he'd done 5 camps before he actually ended up having a contest. 5 times he got ready for a fight to fall through, which happened at all sorts of different time periods. So he's actually more naturally a lightweight, but he's come up to super lightweight to take the opportunity, and what a good opportunity it is for him here in a very warm and electric York Hall.
Very much so, and this fight already looks like it's going to be one for the history books, because Butler's looking very sharp. I'll be honest, he's countering, he's very impressive for the first round. So Gardner's getting stuck in there as well, which is it's good. It's good from both boxers right now, you know, trying to find the tempo.
I said in the ring walk of Mean Dean Gardner that he sees himself as a volume puncher and he'd rather out-punch you than out anything else. But will he be able to do that with a skilled operator like Joseph Butler, who nullifies your attacks with that southpaw jab of his? He's good with his feet. He's a bit flashy. That was a nice lead hook from the southpaw stance.
Very nice.
He's already having a good time in there.
Very, very nice flurry right there. You know, he's very relaxed. You know, but Gardner's probably just edging, and it's good to have volume, but you just also got to be very calculated with it as well, because Butler looks like a sharp shooter, as you can see. He's always coming back. Gardner throws 1 or 2. Butler comes back at least with a minimum of 1, and then, as we've seen with the flurry, it could cause Gardner some problems.
I'll tell you the other thing, Ezra, is we've got a good tempo here in the opening round. This one, as a reminder, is scheduled for 10. Can they keep going at this kind of pace? And we know that people start making mistakes when fatigue sets in, so it could be a bit of a survival of the fittest, right?
Yeah, really, it really would be. And you know what? This is the sweet science, and it's a beautiful game to enjoy and watch, because look, this is the first round and these guys are giving it all. You'd think they're fighting for the Commonwealth International.
Nice, good work there from Butler. Just steps back in the southpaw stance, pings her straight left down. Gardner is doing a good job of exactly what he says he does, which is comes forward. He is a pressure fighter. And speaking to one of the team in Joseph Butler's corner earlier on, he said, I said, are you confident you can win this? And he said, as long as Joseph does exactly what he's meant to do, he should be absolutely fine. And I think what he's getting at with that is, when you've got a lively, warm crowd in there and you land a good shot and the noise goes up, sometimes the game plan can go out the window, can't it?
Goes out the window quite quick, to be honest, believe it or not. But from what I'm seeing from Butler, he's doing everything he needs to do right now. That was a close round. It was a close round. I probably would have edged it myself to Butler just because of the cleaner shots. But this is it's got the makings for a great 10 rounds if we get to that stage.
Well, talking about if we
Corners, 10 seconds.
get to that stage, he's only been out the ring for 3 months as Dean Gardner,
Seconds
but
out. Round 2.
he classed himself as a bit of a gym rat, and he says it doesn't matter how long he's been out of the gym because he lives inside of it constantly, and he's always super fit. He says, I've been late for everything in my life. I was late for school, I was late for work. I am never late to the gym. So he takes the game unbelievably seriously. And the proof will be in the pudding.
It will, and it's showing from earlier on in this fight as well. You know, like I said, that was an electrifying round 1. Round 2's kind of kicked off the same as well. And they look like they're both in tip-top shape, I'll be honest. They're very sharp, very elusive as well. Definitely Butler. But Gardner, I'm impressed with how, you know, he's maintaining the pressure at all times.
Be interesting to see how Butler deals with this pressure from Gardner, who's really having a go there. Nice tight guard and stuck his chin down, gloves up and putting the pressure on. Good work there from Butler. 1-2, lead hook straight over the top. The left hand of Gardner is quite low, which doesn't really add up nicely when it comes with what we've seen so far from Butler, who seems to have a wicked lead hook.
He does, and you know what I do like about Butler is he throws a sneaky counter uppercut to the body when Gardner comes in. And I like how he replies with 2s and 3s as well. But I like how Gardner is keeping him under pressure, keeping him on that back foot, you know. As you can see, look, getting close to him and just letting his shots land anywhere, you know. But again, that sneaky body shot from Butler, Gardner does need to be aware of.
I wonder if a couple of those shots from Gardner got through there, because the facial expressions of Butler just changed ever so slightly. He wasn't the normal smiling assassin, which he has been in the opening part of this fight, especially in the opening round. Gardner's taken 3 or 4 minutes to get into his groove, just fit in. And that was a beautiful shot there from Joseph Butler. But Gardner's shook it off and is getting straight back to business again as Butler pushes him off. And you said it, Ezra, this has already got the recipe, or the ingredients, to give us a recipe of one of those York Hall classic nights.
Definitely a York Hall classic right here. That's what we're watching, that's what we're experiencing. As you can see, Gardner putting everything into it. Butler, he's hanging on, he's even got blood trickling from his nose, but it's the stuff that the fans and us, we like to see from ringside. But they are really putting it all on the line right now, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Both of these smiling at each other, both loving the type of fight which they're in. And the body shots which Gardner is throwing seem to be having a bit of success for him. Dropping the head and dropping the knees of Joseph Butler. And there goes the 10-second clapper to symbolise the last few seconds of this round. Oh, beautiful shot to end it there from Dean Gardner. He looks like he's grown in confidence in that round from like here to here, quite a lot.
Really has, he really has. And you know, if it's anything to go by, the next round will be amazing as well. You know, Gardner's coming out. I think he's starting to figure out what he's got in front of him at the moment as well, because Butler, he poses some tricky questions. He really does. You know, he's southpaw, he's relaxed, he comes back with counter shots. But Gardner, I feel like if he just keeps sustaining that pressure, he'll be able to get to him. Just like how we've seen him, you know, those spurts of that round when he had him on the rope and he was letting his hands go, he was getting to the body. Like you said, you didn't see Butler smiling like as he was throughout the early rounds of the fight. But it's a great fight right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to round 3.
It's been entertaining from the very first bell. Dean Gardner jumps off of his
Seconds
stool.
out. Round 3.
And Butler straight back out. Double jab, straight left hand from that southpaw stance.
Good way to kick off the round.
Gardner just doing everything he can to try and cut the ring off. Nice straight shot there from Joseph Butler. Just rattled the head ever so slightly, then moves off, changes direction, changing the angle, trying to keep his man guessing. And he gets caught there.
2.
And Butler does find himself on the canvas and looks to his corner to give him a bit of a nod to let him know that
7.
he's okay.
8.
And the corner team of Gardner are telling him to put his foot on the gas and really go for it. And Butler needs to either fight back or grab hold of his man and catch his breath. But Gardner got his man on the ropes, but can he keep him there for a prolonged period of time? He's adept when he gets him on the ropes. Butler comes back with another uppercut, but
2.
I think it
he's
could
on
be
the canvas
it could be the
for the
body shot.
second time in a round.
6. 7. 8.
The look in Gardner's eyes looks like he's going to try and shut it out right now, and it makes sense for him to do so as well.
And it looks like Gardner could get his man out of it. He just lunges forward, and the crowds on the left-hand side of the York Hall balcony are on their feet, screaming and shouting for their man. Can Butler fight back? Can he find something from somewhere? There's a big body shot from him.
Good body shot from Butler. He's fighting on right now. He's taking deep breaths. He's having to dig deep. Gardner's having to dig deep as well to try and get this finish.
And blood trickles down the right eye of Joseph Butler. Dean Gardner stalking his man, just trying to get the space to work, and Butler doing the right thing in terms of holding the fight up, because he needs to find something to try and survive, but he could be on the canvas for a third time, and the referee is having a good look here.
Heart of a lion, both of these guys right now. They're putting it all in, as you can see. Butler's not going out easy, I tell you that, that's for sure.
Beautiful straight left hand down the middle from Butler.
Beautiful.
As Ezra Taylor, who with me at ringside, said he's not going out easy. And there's the uppercut. But his legs look heavy, and it looks like one big right hand could finish the job here for Dean Gardner.
I feel like Butler just needs to stay away from the ropes. He gets into that position where he sits on the ropes and allows Gardner to start teeing off on him. And that's where he doesn't want to be. That's how the 2 knockdowns came.
And he's at big shots from the man from Sutton in South London. And could that 10-second clapper have come for a better time for Joseph Butler, who was on the canvas twice in this round? And my goodness, what about that for timing, Ezra Taylor?
What a third round, that was amazing. That was incredible. I really can't see this going to 10 rounds, but if we do, we're going to be in for a phenomenal fight. Honestly, these guys are putting it all on the line. Gardner, like you said, he's growing in confidence. He looks like he's just grown again, a couple more inches. Round 4 is going to be amazing. Butler, he needs to do I'll probably say a rethink of a strategy right now, because Gardner's making it messy. He's stepping on him. He's just walking by anything that Butler's putting in front of him, and that's a dangerous place to be, especially on the ropes. Gardner starts to get his confidence. He starts letting his hands go, and you know it could be an early night if he does that again.
Well, absolute hats off to Joseph Butler. Twice to get himself off the canvas and landed some good shots there. But like you said, Ezra,
10 seconds.
Dean Gardner, he could well get his man out of it.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Round 4 of 10. There is a long time to go, but many times I've felt that we may not hear the final bell when we do. These are 2 tough men, and Butler just trying to find something to the body under the right elbow of the man from Sutton. And I think the message has been to work and move for Butler.
Exactly that. I was about to touch on that. It looks like he's countering, he's moving, as you can see. Look, Butler's throwing a shot and then he's off. He's moving. And that's a great strategy right now, great strategy. It looks like Gardner's struggling, but you see, this is where Gardner's at his best. When he's getting him on the rope and he's letting his hands go, it's hard to stop.
Gardner got him, had him on the ropes, and Butler just tries to push him out into the centre of the ring and lands a nice straight left hand of his own, tries to follow it up with a lead hook, but Gardner bites down on his gum shield, putting the pressure on over and over again. The type of pressure fighter that he is, digs in with a right hook to the body, sticks his toes into the canvas, misses with that one. It was inches, millimetres away even from landing right on the whiskers as the referee breaks them up once again. It's a good return of shots there from Joseph Butler.
It looks like Gardner's probably just steadied the pace a little bit. You know, it was an intense pace to keep it up on, but Butler right now, he's boxing to his ability. He's going back to his counter, he's throwing shots, he's moving. He's doing very well, especially from the round he just came from as well. He had a torrid time in there, and he's getting the steer of the ship.
Butler still coming back with venom, so Gardner needs to be wary of that. He needs to have his wits about him at all times. And Joseph Butler just grabbing hold of Gardner, trying to slow the pace of the fight, trying to pull him into the type of fight that he wants to box. But Gardner has got one mode, and that is forward and keep coming. Another good shot to the body as Butler looked like he winced. He got caught with something which knocked the air out of him.
Gardner's still on the front foot, still working. As you can see, this is where Butler doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be there. He probably thinks that he's safe there, but these shots that's getting through, the body shots, the shots in the arm, you start taking it, and to weather the storm, you have to be built out of something different, you know.
But can Joseph Butler weather the storm for a very, very long period of what's left in this? Can he get himself back into the fight? He smiles, digs in with a left hand to the body, but Gardner seems to come back every single time that something lands. He gets himself back into action, focused, and walks forward. That one was a swing and a miss. He would have exerted some energy, would have Joseph Butler throwing that left hand as he finds himself in the canvas again, but throws a really good left hook as he goes back and gets caught again. Twice, 3 times on the ropes just above our commentary position here at ringside. As we go into the last few seconds of this round. What a round.
What a round. Just like the last one, and probably just like the next as well. You know, it looks like Gardner probably steadied the pace a little bit, but Butler, he picked it up. He was throwing shots, he was moving. Got caught on the ropes a couple of times, but it didn't look like he was in too much trouble. But I can't see how this goes to 10 rounds, honestly, I really can't. You know, they're both putting in 110% in each and every round. They're leaving it all in the ring. They're both going to have no regrets tomorrow, no matter what happens or whatever outcome this gets to get to. But all I can say is it's an exciting time for the fight fans in York Hall.
Just looking round the balcony here at York Hall. During the fight, people were engrossed, completely transfixed by the action inside the ring.
10 seconds.
Is that minute's rest in between that round in particular
Seconds out. Round 5.
going to be enough for Joseph Butler? Can he get a second wind?
One thing I do like about Butler, when these rounds start off, he's the first to get in there and throw a shot. Lets his hands go straight away to dictate the tempo of the round, I believe.
You're right, every round he started by being the first to land, first to throw. But he is the man on the back foot. How long can he sustain the pressure from Gardner in this round? Will we even make the halfway point by the time that this round ends? Gardner trying to cut the ring off in the best way that he possibly can. This is exactly the same position in the ring where he got Joseph Butler to the canvas twice before. Can he do it a third time? And a straight left down, he's coming back over and over again as Butler gets caught with 3 or 4 hooks to the head, and then Gardner switches it downstairs. Oh, great shot there from Butler. Pinged off of his back foot with a left hand and snapped the head back of Gardner, and the sweat bounced off his head and glimmered in the brightness of the lights.
It's great because both boxers are having great succession. You know, Gardner's getting in and he's letting his hands go, as you can see, and he's able to land the shots clean. But then Butler, as you can see, he throws shots, he's got his counters, his pop shots are working, and he's keeping Gardner off as well.
How long can he keep him off for?
That's the real question.
Halfway. Quite literally.
And as you can see, it's a little bit of a telltale sign when you see a boxer, you know, initiating the clinch like that. You know, maybe the boxer's getting a bit too much to him and he just clinches. And that's a smart skill as well. That's also part of fighting.
The Gardner just lowers his body positioning again, leans his body weight in on Joseph Butler once again, who again exerts more energy by trying to push him off, and I guess that is a bit of a game plan when it comes to Gardner. It's about exhausting his man as much as he can, because the more tired he is, the less defensively sound that he will be.
And you can see, you know, both of them from great body shots, but Butler seems like he's wincing when he's on the ropes and he's taking the body shots from Gardner. You know, Gardner's also receiving his fair share too, but as you can see, he's not taking the foot off the gas and he's just stepping forward and he's putting it on his man.
Just a moment ago, Butler landed a nice 1-2 left hook, and then he could have thrown some more, but he deliberately got himself some space and he looked to his team almost for a bit of a nod of approval, and that was a great big shot there from Butler, who connected straight on the chin of Gardner, and these two are going toe to toe as we go into the last 10 seconds of the round, and both of them will want to finish this round in the strongest possible way they can. And for me, Ezra, that was still a Dean Gardner round, but Butler got himself back into it that round.
He did.
In a better way than he did before.
You know what's crazy? I probably would have gave that to Butler just a little bit. Probably towards the end of the second half of that round, it would have been Gardner started to get back with his body shots, his perfect flurries. But I'll be honest, it's still a hard fight to call. You know, they're both really having great succession, great pockets of showmanship. You know, they're working, they're both putting in work. I don't know who to call right now. I'm enjoying it.
It's one of those fights, sometimes it's hard to commentate on it because you're just so absorbed by the action.
I'm so in there right now, man. I'm really in there. Don't be surprised if I jump in there
Corners,
myself.
10 seconds.
You're a bit heavy for these boys.
Oh, sorry, man. You burst my bubble.
Seconds out, round 6.
Well, we are over the halfway mark. And again, as Ezra pointed out, Butler is the first to land in the opening part of every single round. He does it again with that straight left hand of his, lunges forward with another big hook and then follows it up with another straight hand. Is he starting to find the gaps? Is he starting to find the things which work for him? It looked like it as we went into the end of the previous rounds. He always starts the rounds quite strong, actually, and I think fatigue starts to set in a little bit as the round goes by.
It does, and as a fighter, going back onto the ropes, it's a bit of insurance, and you know, I feel safe here, but you're not ever safe when you're on them ropes. And especially with someone like Gardner in front and he's throwing all sorts in the kitchen sink, as you can see, he'll start getting to you. You know, I feel like the best thing that Butler can do is probably walk that he's doing right now, let off put little pop shots like that, and just keep it moving, keep walking. Gardner just needs to keep putting on that pressure like he has been doing and making it uncomfortable for Butler.
But this is much better work on the back foot from Joseph Butler. Gardner doing exactly the same as he did in the previous round and the round before that, and you guessed it, the round before that. Landed another good shot to the body, just above the corner team of Joseph Butler in the red corner, who kind of wilted over as he got caught with a right hook to the solar plex, but he's taking a deep breath and he's back in the mix. And again, Butler finds himself in the corner. He needs to get himself out of there. And that's a nice lead hook of his, but he gets stung with a jab straight afterwards. And that one was a little bit low. And the referee will give Dean Gardner a moment to just catch his breath.
I don't think it was intentional. You know, these two look like they have massive amounts of respect for each other. But this is what happens when you start, you know, throwing all sorts of shots and you're just trying to get to your man in the best way possible.
The solid shots here from Gardner. And Butler looking exhausted. He's kind of swinging away more and more as these rounds go by, and he's been caught with 3 or 4 hooks there because his hands are just too low, whether he's too tired to get him up or move his head in the right place at the right time.
You can tell by Butler's facial expressions that this pressure is starting to slowly get to him, you know, but he's still fighting, he's still letting his hands go. You wouldn't think of anything different if you didn't see the facial expression, sorry. Good shot from Butler.
Good response from Butler. He's still in there, the legs do look tired. The body looks tired as Gardner puts all 140 plus pounds on him and tries to wear him out. But there's the sound. But this round is nearly over once again. And I'll tell you what, Ezra, this may well be one of those fights that goes to the final bell and you think, how on earth did we get there?
How did we get here? That's for sure. That's the question I'll be asking myself for the next couple of weeks. This is an amazing fight. They're putting everything on the line, and it's a fight that you want to see, especially at your call, you know. WBM, they always put on the greatest shows here, man. It's really thriving, it's hot. I know the boxers are feeling it as well, and they're fighting like they're on fire anyway.
A few years ago, I spoke to Frank Warren about York Hall. I was making a documentary about this place, and he described it in the best possible way. He says York Hall is a bubbling cauldron, and when you look at that balcony up the top and you feel the heat from where we are, we feel like we're right at the bottom of the pot, don't we?
Yeah, exactly that, cooking. That's exactly what it is, and that's what these fighters are doing right now. They're cooking, they're getting dirty, and you know what? I feel like this is a York Hall special, you know? You wouldn't really want to watch this anywhere else other than being at York Hall.
Well said, that man. Well, here we go, round 7 of 10. I can't quite believe we got here, actually, after Butler found himself in the canvas twice in quick concession. And the hands are low, but he is firing back. And gets caught, does Gardner there. They were really beautiful shots from Butler.
Very nice and clean and precise. You know, the Gardner, he just landing the more pressure shots, you know. They may not be as hard, but they're certainly getting to Butler, but Butler is landing the cleaner and more snappier shots.
He's a proper pop shotter, is Butler. Very good on the back foot. And these two styles have mixed to make a fantastic combination. Lots of people do lots of talking in boxing. And fair play to Dean Gardner. When he says he'd rather out-punch you than out anything else, I think he's backed that up this evening.
He definitely lives up to it, that's for sure.
Good work again there from Butler. You could see the head rattling of Gardner, but he responds once again and leans in on his man, just tried to make life horrible for the last minute and 30 seconds of this 7th round. And here he comes again. Can Butler get himself out of the danger zone as he throws in a hook to the body, an uppercut to the body, and grabs hold of his man just for a little bit of respite. A deep breath through that nose of his and then straight back to work again. He doesn't want to find himself on the ropes for a prolonged period again, that's for sure. But here he is. And there's another wicked, unforgiving right hand from Gardner. And Butler leaning low above our commentary position.
Gardner unloading. Not too sure how much Butler can take of these shots. But he's turned him over now. And maybe Butler should have probably got a bit of momentum from that, but it looks like he just did from there.
This is absolutely exhausting to watch, Ezra. Never mind being there under those lights and the heat which they're generating.
That's right, it's making me tired just watching it. Good shots from Butler again, and pop shots are beautiful.
And those couple of shots, or 3 or 4 shots, has really given Joseph Butler a little bit of confidence there.
What a fight.
But Gardner walks towards him with a big smile on his face as he gets him in the corner once again, and Butler digs his feet into the canvas and a big left hook followed. And he's just waiting to hear that sound. My goodness. I mean, we haven't even really talked tactics yet, have we?
Yeah, I don't think we can.
Do we need to talk tactics?
I don't think we can, man. Hit each other as much as we can. That's the tactic right now. And you know what? It's working for both of them. It's both in their favour. I'm interested to see the scorecards again if we get there, because I can't pick this one apart. You know, Gardner's doing his thing, then Butler's doing his thing. And then I feel like Butler is about to probably give up. I'm seeing him wincing, then he'll come back with a pop shot, and then Gardner will walk straight down walk into the lion's den and let his hands go. It's it's an electrifying fight.
I'd say there's two types of fights which boxing fans love. The technically brilliant ones. When you're watching fighters like Canelo or Neo and Nui, those types of fighters, when you're seeing technically gifted, very talented fighters like that, that's wonderful to watch. Then there's these types of fights where, like you said, the tactics are gone. They're just going for it.
They're just going for it,
and it's entertainment on tap.
It's amazing.
Well, the 8th round is kicking off in exactly the same way that the 7th round ended. Butler did some marvellous work, some masterful work in the last 20 seconds of the 7th round. Can he put some more of that into action? And that wasn't a knockdown, that was a push to the canvas. And the referee just having a quiet word in his ear. And these two will be exhausted, but I bet they are buzzing with the type of fight which they're putting on for the crowd.
Yeah, these guys are really, living up to what the York Hall presents. Butler showing a bit of flair there, enjoying, got a smile on his face with that pop shot. Good movement from Butler, I must say. Gardner still walking him down, not fazed or bothered by the tactics, the one thing we haven't spoke about.
Well, a phrase which you used earlier on, Ezra, was, can Butler weather the storm? And I feel like he has weathered a storm. I just wonder how many storms are coming his way.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a tornado on the horizon, that's for sure. Gardner's not letting up, and it's a great, you know what? I'm very impressed with both of them, They've stuck to the game plan, whichever that may be. Gardner's still going, pushing him to the corner and letting his hands go. Butler just needs to reply here. The referee's having a close look.
Butler will be in a dangerous position for a period of time. He'll get caught with body shots and head shots. The referee will have a good look. And it's almost like he senses that he needs to get out of there because the referee may be staring for too long, or he does something at just the right time. And that is a good experience from him.
1, 2,
the referee is going to call that a countdown. It did look like a push rather than a punch from here.
8.
And I'd be disappointed if it was to be stopped there. It's not going to, but Gardner will take some confidence, but he walks straight into a 1-2, and Butler comes back with a flurry of punches.
Butler gets his head down and starts throwing overhand rights and lefts, and Gardner starts doing the same as well. And I feel like he probably needed to redeem himself from that. Whatever, if it was a knockdown or not, I feel like he just needed to get it back. And look, as you can see, the way he's clenching his fists together and swinging for the asses, and it's working, but he doesn't want to be there, Butler. Regardless if it's a knockdown or not, this is hard to...
1,
and Butler
2, 3,
hits the floor
4,
once again. It was
5,
a series of left and right
7,
hooks.
8.
And the referee, in my opinion, has probably called that just about the right time. Butler is furious over it, but he did hit the canvas 4 times. And there were long periods where hooks were being slammed into his face, and there was nothing coming back. And the referee's job is to keep the fighter safe. And I completely understand why Joseph Butler is devastated, but it's all over, Ezra.
It's all over, man. And we were saying Woods is going to get to round 10. We got to round 8, and I can see and I can probably feel the heartbreak of what Butler's experiencing right now. But I'll be honest, you got to take it out to Gardner, man. He sustained the pressure. He worked hard. He dug deep, and he was making it uncomfortable and putting him in positions for him to go down, regardless if it was a legit one or wasn't. He was causing the pressure. Gardner was putting in the work just to probably overcome the work that Butler was doing. But it was a great fight. Both fighters should be happy and proud of themselves. They really put it on tonight.
Very well said. Brilliantly articulated. Joseph Butler can hold his head high, because multiple times he found himself on the canvas, and multiple times he got himself up and kept on fighting back. And he didn't just keep fighting back, he found some really good, clean work. But towards the end, it was just getting a little bit too much. And it's one thing taking a barrage of punches on the gloves or on the arms and a few sneaking through, but when 4, 5, 6, 7 hooks are landing clean on the heads, the referee has got to do the best, which is all about keeping the fighter safe. So he'll be gutted for a long time, but I'm sure over time it will settle and he realise what a sterling performance he put in. And hats off to Dean Gardner, a brilliant performance from him.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for both boxers who gave everything. Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes 48 seconds of the 8th round, the contest has been stopped. The winner by technical knockout, and now the Commonwealth International welterweight champion from Sutton, Surrey, Dean the Mean Machine Gardner! And a round of applause for Joseph Bad Boy Butler. Debbie Downs will now present the Commonwealth belt.